Welcome to Luminosity Wellness Radio. I'm Jeff Rennell, and I'm here with my co-host, Christine Essex. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for asking.
We're also here with our normal Mr. Blue in the corner, Josh Carpenter.
Oh, gosh, he said normal.
Yeah, you're anything but normal, I think, but you're still a wonderful person.
Oh, gosh.
And today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Eric Pearl. He's the founder of Reconnective Healing. He has been featured in the top media, including Dr. Oz Show, the New York Times, and CNN. And he has been endorsed by Deepak Chopra and Dr. Wayne Dyer. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You have so many. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I was just saying I'm enjoying the day. I'm getting to see a lot of Las Vegas, traveling from interview to interview.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you have so many different endorsements. I could just keep going on and on about all the endorsements you have there. So I'm really excited about this interview today.
Yes, we are very happy that we got included on your tour of Las Vegas. You know, I had somebody who said to me, they said, "How did you get Eric Pearl to come to Las Vegas? He must love you." I said, "Well, Anna loves me." and he loves Anna because they're very close, you know. And she says, because years ago or something, she said, you said, "No way," and now you're here, and the valley is buzzing. They're so happy to have you here.
I don't remember saying "no way."
I know. I don't know who she. I mean, you know, it's probably a rumor or whatever.
It's probably a rumor.
Yeah, because I know that I met you years ago. We were talking about that earlier. We were, it was
Here in Las Vegas,
yeah. And
I
I
don't
thought,
remember
when the person said it, I was like, what are they talking? They don't know what they're talking about.
No.
That's what I thought.
Most people don't know what they're talking about.
I agree.
That's why we don't listen.
I know, right?
That's why we don't learn and grow, because we stop listening.
I guess it's one quick way, right? So, I just giggled at her and thought, yeah, well, you're here. And what I love is the different places that you're visiting while you're here. And you have a big seminar, a workshop coming up.
Yeah, April 8th through the 12th, we're going to be teaching the new training program here, which is very different than the one that you attended.
Yeah.
It's evolved a great deal in what we're teaching and in the way we're teaching it. For example, on the 8th, we'll give a 3-hour presentation from about 7 to 10, where we'll, of course, talk about the history and the theory and the philosophy and the discovery of reconnective healing. But we will bring up volunteers from the audience, give live demonstrations of the healings. So
nice.
Maybe someone who has, a physical limitation that we can all see, maybe unable to move an arm or something, we'll do demonstrations of the healings for them. And the audience will give everyone an opportunity for you to feel this in your hands. We'll teach you how to not only feel it, but start to play with it and work with it, starting that Friday night. The 9th and 10th, Saturday and Sunday, we'll give what's called Level 1 of the training program, which is where we teach you the basics of how to do this for self-healing and how to start to work with bringing healing to your immediate circle of friends and family. It doesn't make you a professional, but it gives you the beginnings of it, which I think is very important, the grounding of it. And for those of you who want to learn at the highest level, what's called the foundational or the professional level, you'll continue on the 11th and 12th, that Monday and Tuesday, where we will bring in, you'll start to facilitate professional sessions by then under our supervision and guidance. We'll bring in volunteers from the public that you'll work on. We'll teach you how to do it via distance. We'll teach you how to do it holographically. We'll teach you how to do reconnective healing in such subtle and easy and simple ways that have dramatic results. We'll even teach you the basics of how to start to build and develop your own reconnective healing practice. And by the end of Tuesday, the 12th of April, I can pretty much make you 2 promises, which are A, you will be able to do anything and everything in the way of energy healing in this field and beyond that I can do. And B, you will be able to do anything and everything in this field of energy healing and beyond that any human being anywhere on this planet can do. Anyone, anywhere, no matter whether they were raised by monks in a cave in a mountaintop in Tibet, whether they've created 33 different energy healing techniques, whether they've mastered the old, whether they've mastered the new, it doesn't matter any longer, because today it's about removing the constrictions of technique, releasing the training wheels of energy healing techniques and accessing something that includes all the gifts of all our energy healing techniques without ever having to learn any of them. And gives us something far more comprehensive, because it is our human potential that up until now we haven't really been fully embracing and living. But here, Reconnective Healing teaches us how to step into not just our divine spiritual potential, which sounds lovely, and it is lovely, but using those words we often fear or don't recognize that it's our human potential, and it's not only our potential as the way of a gift, but it's our potential as our responsibility to bring healing back into our families and our communities here on Earth today.
Very nice. Very nice. And the timing is right. It's kind of fun to, when you stepped in, when did you start?
When did this start?
I heard, yes. I heard you created it, and then, probably, would you say it was
I
downloaded?
didn't create it. Yeah, downloaded is a good way. It just came in. It just showed up one day. I mean, I had practiced as a doctor of chiropractic for 12 years, and one night I was asleep and I was awakened by my lamp. It turned itself on. Who knows why? Lamps usually turn themselves off. Those are called electrical shorts, or the bulb blew out. But turning on, that was a little odd. My bedroom door was open, which I had closed when I'd gone to sleep because that was my habit, my pattern at the time. I felt as if someone was in my house. I got up with a knife and a can of pepper spray and my Doberman Pinscher. I went hunting. I couldn't find anyone. I went back to sleep. And that Monday I went into my office. 7 of my patients told me they could feel my hands touching them even though I wasn't touching them. They felt multiple pairs of hands simultaneously resting on multiple areas of their bodies. As I moved my hands near them, their fingers would move, their arms and legs would jump, their eyes would dart back and forth. They reported seeing colors they'd never seen, smelling flowers they'd never smelled. They started getting up out of wheelchairs, vision and hearing returning, reporting cancer tumors had vanished. Children with cerebral palsy and epilepsy were walking and running and playing and speaking normally and not having seizures and not even needing their medications. Their doctors would call. They'd ask me what happened. I said, I didn't do anything, and I don't want to hear about it. This didn't happen with every single patient, but it happened with, just like medicine, it happened with a significant number of patients, a significant amount of time, in a significant expression. And unlike medicine, it had no adverse side effects, so I figured, let's look into it. And that's how it showed up. Then I had to discover it or uncover more about it to be able to teach it, because people would ask me to teach it, and I said, you've got to be insane. I'm standing there moving my hands around looking like a fool. I said, you go do it. But as we recognized more and began to teach from the time that I'd seen you, I don't know when that was, but I'll tell you, we have now trained close to 100,000 people around the world how to do reconnective healing. The book that you're holding, The Reconnection, is an international bestseller going into, I believe it's 40th language. 40 languages.
Wow.
Who knew? You know, you go home one day, think you're a doctor, you come in the next day, and you're something else. And my parents had always said, we think you're something else, but this is not what they had in mind.
Lovely.
How did your parents take this part of your experience?
Well, I'll tell you. I will tell you, but I didn't put it into the book because when you read it, if you don't get the right inflection, you'll misinterpret it. And even then, you're going to hear people hear what I'm about to say, and they're going to hear it wrong, and they're going to call and misinterpret. But what happened was I got both of my parents on the phone because I was living on the West Coast at the time. They were on the East Coast, and I called them up, and I said, look, both get on the phone. You need to hear this. Please don't think I moved to Los Angeles and fell in with the crazy people. This is really happening, so just let me explain it. So I explained the lamp and the light and the healings and the movements and visions and more things we didn't even talk about in this interview. And then there was silence for a moment. I'm holding my breath. And my mother says, well, just call me Mary. And then I knew it was all right. I figured if she could laugh about it that way. And they accepted it well. And my parents learned it. My father does this with horses and dogs and animals. My mother was always showing it to people. My sister was a civilian attorney for the Navy. She stopped doing that and started doing reconnective healing. And my brother remains a psychologist, and he gets a patient smile on his face when he hears about this. But I think he thinks it's a little crazy.
Well, and through the years, it's grown, it's developed, and you've been able to take and reach that many people's lives just through your own openness. Can we agree? I mean, you had to just throw everything out and say, I'm in it.
Yes, you do. That's exactly it. You can't try. This is something very difficult because I'm a very type A personality. So it used to be you didn't get out of a room or a conversation with me unless you either agreed with me or were really good at making me think that you agreed with me, or I wasn't finished until I got you to one of those two places. Now, here comes the biggest thing in my life. And and I know I'm very comfortable with this understanding that there's absolutely nothing I can do, nor should I, to try even to convince anyone about this at all. All I can do is share my truth. And it's totally up to you as to whether or not you are able to hear the truth in this.
Yes.
Some people actually, actively, consciously would rather live a less informed life than accept the reality of this. There are people on the internet whose sole purpose is to try to say that this type of thing can't exist. Not reconnective healing per se, but anything related to it. That's their whole purpose. And it will upset their comfort zone if they suddenly made a discovery and actually learned more than they know now. So that's where their income comes from, and that's what they do with their excess energy. All you can do is share your truth. People say to me, what about the skeptics? Once you've overcome your own skepticism, nobody else's really seems to matter. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You find when you know something from within and from your life experience with it, that it doesn't really bother you when someone else doesn't get it or believe it. You just know that they're on their path, and their path is perfect for them.
Correct.
Of course, a lot of them are invested in trying to get you to think that your path isn't perfect for you, but that's a whole other story.
Yeah, that's a whole other one. So I just am so grateful that, again, you picked our center to come in this Friday night. You will be with us at 7 o'clock.
And what's today? Thursday? So what you mean it's tomorrow?
Right.
Yes.
Wow, it's come up so fast.
Almost 24 hours away.
Oh yeah, because it's at 7. Wow. And
what are we doing?
Well, at that
Tomorrow.
one. I'm sure.
Fill me in. I just got off a plane.
I know.
You just, I'm used to people. They wind me up. They point me in the direction. They go walk over there and then talk.
Well,
so what are we doing?
We're just going to have I guess you're going to talk about your upcoming training program so that people can hear and actually reconnect with you. I believe that a lot of people will be coming just to reconnect with you because they've either crossed your path at one point in their lives and they want to recross it. So I just think that's pretty fantastic in itself. So they want to just come and reconnect.
Well, I'm glad they're coming. It is a new program, and I do want to see the people again, like seeing you after all this time. It's fun. It's fun to meet people again, and it's fun to meet people for the first time.
Yes.
Reconnective healing is something that's easiest to learn if you have no background in energy healing and no background in any healthcare system, because the less background you have in anything, the less you have to unlearn.
That's true.
And that becomes a little problematic because for some people, for the ego, because at the foundational, the highest, the only professional level of reconnective healing, when you reach that level, you let go of the energy healing techniques. And a lot of people say, how can I find the best reconnective healing practitioner to go to, one that'll bring it through at its highest? And I say, take a look at them at their websites. If they're still doing energy healing techniques, they're not quite at that level yet. Find someone who is a foundational practitioner. And that's part of why we expanded the program, in order to let people get there with that. Have you felt reconnective healing?
No, I sure haven't.
Give me your hand. Face me a little bit. Don't worry, we won't have dead air. Just open your fingers right there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my hand in this way. Now, can you see the tiny little movement of your fingers? You watch them. There.
Oh, yeah.
See your index finger moving up and down like that?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Now, are you moving your finger, or is your finger moving itself?
It's moving itself.
Okay. Notice that the movements are stronger and bigger the further away I get. Can you see that? Here, I'll watch. Here I am close. Now we'll watch your fingers and we'll see. Now you're good at holding them relatively still. The movement stays small. What do you feel when I do this?
Truthfully, I can feel a little tugging coming this way, a little tugging coming that way, and feel the energy actually flowing through as well, too.
Okay. Does it tend
And
to
my
feel the
hand's heating up.
same, or does it change as I stretch outward? Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. There's no senses should be shut off.
You know, actually, I would say it does feel pretty much the same, except every now and then it'll be a little bit stronger on each side.
Okay, and you feel heat, right?
Yeah, my hand is definitely heating up.
So, either I am casting off heat, or I mean, I can't be holding in your body's heat right now. I'm more than a yard away with
Yeah,
my hands, right?
yeah, exactly.
So my hands must be pretty warm, right?
Yep.
What's the temperature of them?
Cold. Ice cold, yeah.
Ice cold.
Yeah, ice cold.
Ice cold.
Wow.
This reconnective healing turns the laws
My
of...
hand's hot.
Yeah.
My hand's twice as, probably 10 times hotter than his.
Reconnective
Wonderful.
healing turns the laws of physics and quantum physics as we know them upside down and inside out, bringing heat from cold, coolness from heat, wetness from dry, dryness from wetness, all sorts of unusual feelings and sensations. But mainly, what just happened in that little interaction was the beginning of a set that's moving on to restructure the DNA in your body. If you notice, your left hand now, your thumb started flipping up and down. I don't know, you didn't see it because you weren't looking, but I was looking that way. Where there are 6 studies so far that show that once you interact with the reconnective healing frequencies, science calls this now the reconnective healing spectrum, or just
Nice.
reconnective healing. Once you interact with it, it restructures the DNA in each of your cells. In our body, well, you know, we used to
Right.
think it was a nice, beautiful, spiritual concept only to think of ourselves as the light. But what we know from the works of Dr. Fritz Popp in Germany and others today is that we actually do emanate light. The DNA in each of our cells gives off levels of light. When our health is diminishing, that light is measurably dimming. When our health is coming back, it's rising again. And once we interact with the reconnective healing frequencies, it restructures our DNA in such a way that it not only raises the light level that we emit, but it makes it more harmonic, or what the researchers call more coherent. What is it when we fall away from perfect health, really, except for falling away from harmony, a disharmony? Reconnective healing brings us back to a state of harmony. So the question, if we really want to look at it today, is what is healing? Well, healing comes from healthy, comes from hale, comes from whole. It's wholeness and a return to balance. It's not about getting rid of this symptom or that symptom. It's about bringing us back to a state of balance. And the symptoms, which are warning signs that something's out of balance, no longer play any role because we're back in balance. So the symptoms leave, not because we treated the symptoms.
Right.
It's not as if you walk into your home, find it's on fire, the smoke alarm is going off, and you cut the wires to the smoke alarm and treat the symptoms. The fire's still on. This puts out the fire, and then there's no reason for the smoke alarm any longer.
Oh, wow. That's so powerful. We're going to go for a little break right now, and then when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. We so much are enjoying this. I know our listeners are enjoying this.
I'm enjoying it.
Jeff is on fire.
I love this stuff. All right, you're listening to Luminosity Wellness Radio. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back to the Luminosity Wellness Radio Show. We're here with our special guest, Dr. Eric Pearl, and we're talking about the reconnective healing. I have a quick question for you, if you don't mind. I'm really curious on what's
If
going on.
I did mind, we wouldn't have an interview.
I guess that is true. Okay, so I'm just curious, what's going on in your mind then? What is your intention when you are moving the energy? Is it just sharing unconditional love? Is there an intention to move and balance blocks and energy within them? I'm just kind of curious.
Intention in healing is a very funny word because a lot of people misuse it. It's
Okay.
often misused. People intend to get certain results, and that's, to me, a lower level use of intention in the healing field, which reduces the level of healing that comes through because your results that you intend are then specific results. So you are telling the universe what should happen.
Okay, I like that.
Instead of witnessing and observing the universe show you what can truly manifest. With reconnective healing, what we teach you to do is to feel for something. And we show you how to feel it and how to
Okay.
find it, how to play with it. As you're feeling it, you watch, you observe, you witness the person who might be lying down on the massage table or the healing table with you. You start to correlate. Oh, I see their fingers moving. I notice the feeling in my hand has changed. Oh, the feeling in my hand has changed again. Oh, I see their eyes moving. So you witness and correlate. What do I see? What do I feel? What am I seeing? What am I feeling? What am I feeling? What am I seeing? In essence, you truly become one with the other person and one with yourself at such a deep level that you become the witness and the witnessed, the seer and the seen, the observer and the observed. And if you can say right there, what am I feeling? What am I seeing? What am I noticing? Then we don't end up getting in the way. The old ways that energy healing techniques have been taught didn't have a model to follow. They weren't following a healing model. They were following a medical model. Now, the medical model comes in and you diagnose, whether you do it through laboratory or blood testing or something else. In the energy healing world, they diagnose. They didn't think it was diagnosing because they thought you had to do it medically. But no, when you take a pendulum and hold it over something, see where the problem is, that's a diagnosis.
Yes.
When you feel for where the density is, that's a diagnosis. When you start looking for chakras spinning or colors changing, you're diagnosing where you think the problem is and what you need to fix. That's perfect if you're a medical doctor. In the energy healing field, especially once you rise to the level of reconnective healing, you want to rise to a new level of approach. The less you know about the person who's lying down on that table in front of you, the better off they are, because the less likely you are to limit what comes through to them according to what you believe consciously and, more dangerously, subconsciously, may or may not be possible as a result. I tell the person, I say, look, let go of what you're looking for and instead witness your own experience. If you're lucky, you'll have the healing you came in looking for. If you're truly fortunate, you'll have one you haven't even dreamed of, one that the universe has designed for you. So my intention is to be present and feel, knowing that it's a healing interaction. And just like when you go into a movie, you may know a little about what it's about, but you don't know what's coming until it comes. I look to see what is it that the perfect orchestration, the intelligence of God, of love, the intelligence of the universe, whatever word you want to use. I don't think God cares whether you refer to God as Helen. Whatever that perfectly manifests and orchestrates, the gift is in being able to be the witness to this.
Wonderful. I'm really glad I asked that question because I do like your interpretation of intention as well too. And I will definitely look at it a whole different way as well too when I'm working with people. But I do like that because you're the way I like.
You
to
better
look
come
at
and just learn how to do this while we're here.
But I when I work with my clients, I like to look at everything as perfect because they have the perfect disease, the perfect ailment, whatever it might be, because that's what their experience is. That's what they chose to experience. So I like what you're saying here because you're working with the perfection and you're just changing to a new experience in a way. Is that kind of?
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I've never quite fully bought into look at the cancer as being perfect, you know, or look at the back pain as being perfect. And I'm looking at it as having been perfect, but the new orchestration of the healing and the level of balance coming about is going to be more perfect.
Okay.
Or perfect for this new time for them.
Exactly. I like that.
So that's what we're going to be covering Friday night. So the people who join us at Luminosity Wellness Center, we're going to be talking about a new level of healing. And that's what you'll be sharing, as well as the workshop or the event that's
We're going
coming
to,
up.
We're
Yeah,
going to
I
talk
know.
about it, depending on who's there and what we're doing. Maybe we'll demonstrate. If not, we definitely will be demonstrating when we bring the training program back here April 8th.
And where will that be held at? Do you know yet?
That's a really good question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I throw you. No, just roll that
You can
one.
throw me. Maybe I even know, and maybe I'll even come back to
that
that as we're
the-
talking about something else.
Oh, good. I know it's coming in April. I'm just not sure.
April 8th through 12th, that much I do know.
Mm-hmm.
And here that I see April 8th, if I hit on it right there,
Mm-hmm.
Las Vegas training program. Oh, it's at the Rio Hotel, 3700 West Flamingo Road.
Beautiful.
You can also find that on Natural Awakenings on the back of the magazine. It'll have
Yes.
that
Oh, very good.
that information on there as well.
That's
and it
true.
said the Rio? there?
Yes, it
Okay.
says the Rio on
Yeah,
there.
I did. I know I've read that
And it's
before
got
now
the-
that you mentioned the Rio, yes.
And it's got his website and also all of his social media on there that people can connect with as well.
Excellent.
And just like the book is called The Reconnection, Heal Others, Heal Yourself, the website is also The Reconnection, thereconnection.com. You have to use the word the or you end up somewhere else.
Yes.
The Reconnection.
At the Reconnection.
There was a while in the beginning when I got their website, thereconnection.com, and someone else had reconnection.com, and it was like a sexual meetup place for people. It was not exciting.
That's a
I
different
don't
kind of
see that-
connection.
I don't see that there anymore. That's good.
Oh, thank goodness, right?
Yes, and if any listeners out there have any questions for Dr. Eric Pearl, you can please call in at 702-483-4444, 702-483-4444.
But let's please make sure that the questions are about the concept of healing in general. We're not going to take any specific questions that are pertaining to anyone's specific problem. My daughter has this problem, I have that problem, what can I do? We can't really be giving advice here that way over the phone, but we love to talk about the consciousness and concepts and understanding of healing and stepping into our very grand level of human potential that we've not really stepped into. We've been living within our perceived potential, but now it's time to step into our actual potential.
We have a study starting in March where we're going to take 100 students through, and it's called it's Self-Healing is Real. And so, you know, just at some point it would be great to hear what direction and advice you would give us, because we're going to document everything and bring the conscious awareness up to that higher level for people to understand that it is self-healing and that they have a part and responsibility of it. And then the different tools and techniques that can be used. So like learning the reconnective technique, or reconnection, I should say.
Reconnective healing.
is
It's called learning reconnective healing.
Good.
We teach you how to do self-healing on that first weekend, the 9th and the 10th, among other things. And we'll teach you how to do self-healing. And it's just as when you're facilitating healings for others, it's without ritual. It's without complicated techniques. It's without fear-based protections. It's without healing objects, amulets, pendulums, crystals. It's without anything external, because everything external is you giving your power away.
Okay.
External power is transient. You lose the crystal, you forget the symbol, am I drawing it right in the air? Internal power is eternal. And to fully embody your internal, we have, there just comes a time where we have to let go of the external.
Excellent. I know Christine Contini, she's the head of that study, and last night she had some interns, and they were doing some work on me. I said, hey, if you need a volunteer, you know, I'm available. Because she had seen, like, in here that my chakra more was outside of my body, kind of, and it was interesting that she would witness that or experience that. But it also set me up to be very protective. She was explaining how it set me up to be kind of protective, which I've been kind of protective and defensive lately. So they did some work. It was interesting to have the interns doing the different levels of energy.
Was their work designed to put the chakra back to where they felt it belonged?
I believe that was what I felt. What I can say what I felt.
Well,
right?
they saw your chakra out there. They
Christine
did some work to put it back.
To
That's
come
what
back into the body.
Okay.
And oddly enough, it was kind of like my experience was that the pain. I didn't have pain in my belly until like I brought that back in, and then it was like a little bit discomfort in my belly, which was kind of like, well, maybe my body pushed that out because of the discomfort.
Maybe it wasn't supposed to be inside like they thought.
Excellent point.
So this is the problem when someone did what she did. She diagnosed what she thought was wrong.
Okay.
And felt that it should go back in, at least from what you're telling me. This is when we follow this pseudo-medical model that really is not the highest level in the healing field. For example, if an athlete injures their wrist, what happens? There's swelling, there's heat, there's a change in temperature, the function is altered, there's pain. The pain is the body's system calling up from the wrist to the brain saying, help, help, help. There's damage down here. Then there's increased blood flow that washes away the bad tissue. There's swelling that helps limit the movement of the joint so it doesn't further injure itself while it bathes it in healing nutrient fluids. There's changes in coloration, you know, as the bruising goes on. This temperature changes, the heat raises the biochemical temperature at which different things can take place. There's all sorts of things. It's the innate intelligence of the human body functioning through the universal intelligence, the intelligence of the universe. And the brain and the wrist stay in this little phone call that they're having until the healing has taken place. They say, thank you very much, goodbye, and hang up. Perfect. What do? We come in, we take ultrasound, short circuit the phone call, so the wrist is hollering, help, 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 and the brain hears, Then we inject painkillers, anti-inflammatories, and we send the person to go out, maybe they're a professional pool player or a typist, so they continue to re-injure and re-injure more deeply and more deeply, but we've gotten rid of the pain signal, so the body, well, everyone else thought it was healed, but the body wasn't healed. We only shut off the symptoms. Now, what do we do in the energy healing world? Someone comes in and they say, I think the chakras are spinning the wrong way, or this is outside the body instead of inside the body. This should be clockwise. This should not be red. It should be blue. We rearrange the colors, the chakras of this and of that. And we think we're doing a wonderful job. Then we find the area of the density. We remove the density. All the energy flows freely. We go, ta-da, look at me. I'm a healer. Well, what makes them think that the swelling in the wrist was that the energy density in the wrist field was any less intelligent than the swelling in the wrist, which kept the wrist bathed in healing nutrient fluids while it regenerated? What makes them think the change in temperature is any less intelligent than the increase in the temperature to where the blood is flowed to the wrist to help the healing process? What makes it think that when the chakras are spinning the wrong way or out of the body instead of in the body or the other way around, that that's any less intelligent than the body redirecting the flow of fluids to an area to help the healing process? In other words, what are we doing in that approach? What we're saying when we take that approach and we start fixing and rearranging things is we're saying, thank you very much, God. Looks like you've done a really wonderful job up until now of doing everything in the universe. But look, you've missed these spots. Please allow me in my infinite wisdom to show you all my certificates and use my energy techniques and fix these places for you. Here's my phone number. Call me again anytime I can help you in the future. I'd love to stay and chat with you longer, but I only have enough time to go home. Email anyone I've ever known. Let them know what I've just done for you. And I'm teaching a class tonight at 8 o'clock on how to transcend your ego. By the way, God, you might want to come. There's always something for everyone to learn. There's a reason that that's out. Don't address what's outside your body, inside, clockwise, counterclockwise, this, that. Overall, intend for the normal balancing the body. So that doesn't need to be outside any longer instead of putting it back in. It's a different approach today if we allow ourselves to see it.
That's excellent. And for all I know, that may have been their intentions.
May have been.
Because I'm just giving my perspective.
May have been. And
Yeah.
that's why I said we don't know what they really did or didn't
Right,
do
yeah.
or how or why, but that's a common approach. And we want to let that approach go.
That's excellent advice, especially for the listeners and for all of us here in the studio, is to continue to open our awareness and to continue to realize that we're in a new age of healing. Heal others, heal ourselves. I think that it's healing ourselves first. That's what we find
Yeah.
a lot in our world.
The other thing I love that you said is the body is intelligence. Everything I've learned, the body is really intelligent. We have to realize that and accept that. I mean, so many people make the mistakes when they have the flu as well, too. The body temperature heats up. They think, oh, my God, I'm getting sicker, when it's actually the body doing its job. Let me go out and get some flu medication and let me just screw up my whole system and prolong the sickness for another couple weeks.
We are a universal intelligence, and we take our minds and we think that that comprehends everything, and we start redirecting it. So yeah, we take aspirin to get rid of a fever when sometimes the fever is doing something wise within our system. If the three of us go out and have Chinese food, and my chow mein turns into to mein,
Right.
right? And we all have the same food, so the same toxicities in each of us, and I'm throwing up. Who's sick? Not me. My body's doing what it's supposed to do. It's getting rid of these things.
Ah.
So we don't want to hold on to them. There was a nasal spray back decades ago, did a commercial, and it showed the body sneezing out, things inside of it, and it said, buy our product. And it said sneezing. Nature's way of ridding the body of foreign particles. Buy our product and stop sneezing. And we did.
Oh, not so good.
Not so good. Not so good. So the same mistakes can be made in the energy healing world as in the allopathic medical world. And it requires practitioners in both to start to make more conscious choices in their approach of how to deal with something. Not dealing with the symptoms of what's out and what's in and what's clockwise and what's counterclockwise, but overall, can we return to balance? Because maybe there's a reason things are clockwise, in, out, it's blue, green, purple, etc. Plaid, rarely plaid, but
Now, it's my understanding you do this with kids and animals as well. Is that correct?
reconnective healing. We've had courses that we're revamping right now called Reconnective Kids and Reconnective Animals, and it was teaching how to work with children and animals. We're very close to bringing the animals course back in now at a different level. You don't do, how can I say this? Animals are people in fursuits. Life is life and love is love. You don't need to do healing differently for animals, but approaching and interacting with animals so that they're comfortable and accepting in the interaction, that's a very important part to teach. Reconnective Kids was not about doing healing for kids, because how do you do healing for kids?
Right.
Smaller.
Smaller.
More
A little
playfully.
different, a little more playfully.
The miniature version.
But it
right?
was teaching children how to do reconnective healing. And we're just we're redoing the teaching the teaching staff, the educational concept behind teaching children how to do reconnective healing. It's much easier for children to learn. They don't come in with the egos of going, I know what's wrong and what needs to be fixed. And,
Yes.
this needs to be changed and that does. And I'm worried about taking on negative energy, and they're not worried about protecting themselves in white flames and purple flames and gold flames and pulling up imaginary make-believe zippers and shaking off negative energy and spraying themselves down with alcohol. They're not lost in the untruths.
Right.
They just step in and are, because every time we do a protection, whether it's a zipper or a flame or this, that, or the other, or wear something to protect us, are we bringing in love or are we bringing in fear?
I say fear.
Of course, we're bringing in fear. So every time we bring in fear, fear creates more fear. I protect myself from the negative energy. Then we go, well, yes, but you're carrying negative energy, so how do I protect myself from you so I don't take it on? And every protection we have is a separation. And you can't give a gift that you're unwilling to receive yourself. You can't stand in fear, protecting yourself from this, that, and the other, and facilitate healings that reside in love. You can't stand in lack and limitation, adding things to yourself to make yourself a better healer, and facilitate healings that reside in abundance, including the consciousness that you are more than abundantly enough. And we have to start to see where we have been embracing fear disguised as love, and be brave enough to let that go. I'll give you a biggest one. You want to really upset people? This will upset people who don't fully hear what I'm saying, and it will open up everyone else. Many people say, well, okay, I hear what you're saying, but before I do a healing session, I at least want to call in God. I say, great, you want to call God into the healing session, right? And they say, yes. I say, by the way, is God everywhere? They say, absolutely. I said, if God is everywhere, then where are you calling God in from, Sears?
Starbucks.
If you and I were having coffee at Starbucks, and you started going, looking, I'm right in front of you, I'm right here with you, you start going, Eric, where are you? I think you're insane. God, where are you? I'm right here, silly.
Yeah.
Perfect. It is so perfect because, yes.
People who don't understand, who don't hear what I just said,
Right.
will call and say, I can't believe he doesn't want to call God into the healing session. No. I am thrilled that God is here, and knowing and recognizing that God, love, the intelligence of the universe, Allah, whatever word you want to use,
Right.
is here is beautiful. But going through the steps of something to call someone in is announcing to the universe they're not there. We must start to recognize where we are being out of integrity because we were sold this in beautiful love wrapping paper, but we have to open the box and find out that wrapping paper can be used to wrap up many things, and it's not always love.
Yes,
That's
so true.
I love that. And so, yeah, he's in us, around us, everywhere. There's no calling.
There's no need to call
There's
in?
no call. They don't need to call.
Yeah, I really love what I'm hearing here because, one, again, you're empowering people, and that's one of my biggest things is I see so many of my clients that, like you said, are giving their power away, whether it's in symbolism or whatever it might be. You know, going to need to make the medicine wheel in order to do this, you know, whatever it is. They're giving their power away in so many ways. And so I know me personally, I'm always trying to strengthen them, always trying to make them do it for themselves and not need something else in order to strengthen them. So I really love what I'm hearing about your technique.
Thank you. There was a time we may have needed some of these things. And in energy healing, sometimes because we're getting something less comprehensive, we may need them. But today, it's our responsibility to step into and embrace a fullness that no longer needs the external.
And, you know, we've been trained, Jeff, as a theta healer. That's his love and passion.
Yes.
Mine is hypnotherapy and NLP. And what I love about our center is we have so many different modalities and different practices. And the energy, though, I'm watching the energy changing, the energy work changing. And
Today we're changing?
Yes.
We're evolving
Yes.
today. It's like if we've learned how to ride the bicycle with training wheels growing up, that was beautiful.
Right.
Hopefully our parents didn't teach us to add a second and a third and a fourth set of training wheels to the bicycle. Our parents came to a certain point in time and said, well, do you want to master the bicycle with training wheels, or do you want to master the bicycle itself? Because if you want to master the bicycle itself, those are excellent training wheels. They may help someone else, but they have to come off of your bicycle. Our energy healing techniques have been wonderful training wheels for us, but until we're willing to take them off of the bicycle, every time you do this, you got to go, I'm still doing the bicycle. You're either here to master the bicycle with training wheels or to master the bicycle itself. You are either here to master energy healing techniques, or you are here to master healing itself. And that becomes a decision. A little frightening. It was a little frightening maybe when that adult in your family removed the training wheels from the bicycle.
Right.
It might be a little frightening to say, I've learned all these energy healing techniques. How do I do nothing? You do nothing instead of the techniques by learning to stop trying to do the healing and instead to become the healing. And once you become the healing, just like when you take a candle to light another candle to light another candle, you never see the flame doing a technique. It doesn't get weaker, it doesn't get sick, it doesn't take things on, it doesn't protect itself. It simply inspires the flame on the next candle to ignite, and the next, and the next. And when we become that level of coherent harmonic light, our very presence inspires healings far more powerful than anything that we've been learned to be doing in techniques.
That's another point that I'm really I'm sure some of this will be talked about again tomorrow at
Tomorrow
7.
night,
And
7
then
o'clock.
we definitely know it's going to be talked about in April because you're going to be teaching it, the first level and then the advanced level.
Right. We're gonna present for 3 hours Friday night, April 8th, and then people who want to learn the work, the 9th and 10th, Saturday and Sunday, is level 1 of the training program, and the professional or foundational level is the 11th and 12th, that Monday and Tuesday.
And so on the 8th, is there a fee for the 8th? Do you know?
I don't know.
Catching you.
I don't know. You're going to have to go into the website. I don't know if there's a
apologize
fear for, I don't know if there's a fear. I don't know if there's a fee for Friday night. Might be a fear also. I don't know if there's a fee for Friday night or not. I know that if you register for the training program itself, the 3-day or the 5-day, or the 2-day, the 4-day training program, the Friday night is included.
Oh, okay.
in that.
And that website is theconnection.com.
No, thereconnection.com.
Excuse me, thank you. The
Don't forget
reconnection.
The
reconnection.com in order to find out more info on that, as well as on social media. You are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. I see, plus Google. Nice.
Well, someone's got to do it.
That's right.
Becoming reconnected and connected into social media, and I saw you're doing some stuff in Spain and around the world, so you're really reaching a lot of places and a
I'm
lot
on
of
the
the stuff
globe.
that you're doing.
I'm around the globe about 40-some weeks a year.
Wow, that is amazing. So for listeners, no matter where you are, you could probably find Eric Pearl there.
Yes, and also too, if you don't mind me saying, I know when I was looking up before the interview, there is a lot of videos on YouTube about you too. So if they really like what they're hearing today, definitely go on YouTube, look some more stuff up before his seminars here. Definitely show up tomorrow to Luminosity Wellness Center. A fascinating interview. I absolutely loved it today.
I just came across a couple interesting YouTube videos, but one was shot here
Right.
in Las Vegas. Steve Rother had a show, and he did a video that's up there. It was really interesting to see. I'd love to do another one with him at some time. Maybe I'll give out a shout.
Oh, yes. I haven't heard much about Steve for a while, although that doesn't mean he's not out there, keeping us aware, keeping us
That's true.
active, if we will. And so what we want to say to just as a reminder, on Sunday, we have a Valentine's event at the center. We're going to have...
He said, uh-oh. I like your reaction to that.
I didn't bring anything red.
Oh, that's okay. We're going to have romantic readings, and we're going to have a henna artist giving henna tattoos from the Salt Room here in Las Vegas. We're going to have bath bombs that have been made, romantic bath bombs that will be given away, and love potions. And yes, and we have every room, so we'll probably have about 16 different things going on at the center that people can get involved in and have some fun with. And it's $20 to get in the door, and that's per couple
When
or
is it?
pair. This Sunday, the 14th, Valentine's Day.
When? What time?
From noon to 4.
Okay.
Noon to 4, yes. And then singles are $15 to get in.
So that sounds like they can still come in, have a great time, and still get out for dinner that night, and nice and early as well.
That was the planning. That was the sole purpose of it, was, because I didn't want people to say, well, we can't make it because,
We're
it's
going to
Valentine's
dinner,
Day.
yeah.
I was like, well, then we'll do it
That's-
from noon to 4, and you have no excuse. Come have some fun and go have the romantic part.
Well, not only that, it's not separate then. It becomes a dimensional augmentation to the Valentine's Day. So when you look back on it last time, you go, no, we didn't just go to dinner that year. We also went here and we experienced the readings and the potions and this and that. It makes it something much larger, more comprehensive.
An experience,
yeah,
if you
An
will.
experience.
Yeah, it's something new too, not just flowers and
Right,
chocolate.
yeah,
you know,
totally
it's a whole
different.
new event for Valentine's.
Because every year,
Or C's peanut brittle.
that's right. That's right. I know you. I know you. And we do a night of the unknowns in October where we have a similar event. And so this time, then we all dress up in costumes. So this time we're just doing it from a love perspective and offering that. So we encourage people to come and play with us and see. We'll have angels, and we have over a 7-foot angel that will be there. An angel on stilts, taking photos with people.
If he's 7 feet, why does he need stilts?
It's a her.
A she.
I think it's the wings that actually take up the biggest percentage of that. It's quite unique and very, very fascinating. So
That's awesome.
So really quick, let's mention a few more because we only have a couple more minutes left. I'll just really quickly mention we have the weekly Friday Night Awakenings tomorrow night with the Crystal Bowl meditation, Reiki healing, our healing circle. So any type of healing modalities are more than welcome to come and share or receive healings as well. And then we'll finish that off with the drum circle. And then we have Eric's event going on tomorrow night as well too. Do you want to
correct,
let us know
7
a little
o'clock.
about
7 o'clock, and just come right into the center. It is a free event, and so we welcome you to come and hear all the fascinating news, updates, and insights.
And there is
Eric has to share.
Sorry. There is an event on Facebook as well that you can join to RSVP and get more details.
Good.
And will you have more books tomorrow as well, so people can purchase books maybe? Or?
I believe people will be able to purchase books.
All
How do you
right,
like that?
And get
That's
books
good because I
signed.
think I want to try to pick one up tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll sign them.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know if I. Oh, yeah, I'll have to
So
get
there
some
you go. You can actually pick up a really hot copy of his book, get it signed and everything, and meet him tomorrow. What a great, and a free
Yes.
on top of it.
Absolutely.
What's free?
The event tomorrow.
Event.
Uh-huh.
He's like, not the book.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm going to have to talk to my publicist. All right. We are wrapped up for today. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming in and gracing us with your presence. It was a wonderful interview and very fascinating. I know my
Thank
mind's
you.
going to be turning a little bit tonight thinking about all the wonderful things you said.
Thank you.
Go check him out on YouTube.
Yes. And thank you very much for listening to Luminosity Wellness Radio. We will see you next week.
See you
That's
next week.
right.